Call this meeting of Carthage City Council to order. Chief, please.
Heavenly Father, as we gather tonight, we thank you for health and our ability to be here on this beautiful sunny day. We ask, Father, your blessing and comfort to those who may be in need or suffering. We ask that you examine our hearts and fill us with your wisdom so that the fruit of our efforts will bring glory to you and you alone. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Brent, if you'd please call the roll.
Chopete,
Present.
Harrison,
Present.
West,
Here.
Tejas,
Present.
Thorne,
Here.
Perkins,
Here.
Snow,
Here.
Kane,
Here.
Wells, Ready.
Here.
All right. Now we got everybody here. I would assume you've all had an opportunity to take a look at the minutes from the last meeting. I'd entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion we approve those minutes as written.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Any discussion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, moving on. We have no presentations or proclamations for this evening, so we'll move on to public comments. Anyone wishing to address the council, please step to the podium, state your name and address, and limit yourself to 5 minutes. Obviously, a tremendous amount of interest tonight. So, all right, if we have no public comment, we'll move on to reports of standing committees. Let's start with Budget, Ways, and Means. Alan.
Yes, Budget Ways and Means Committee met last night here in council chambers. First item of business we had was a budget adjustment for the 25-26 budget year. You'll see that on tonight's agenda as Resolution 2125. The second thing that we did during our meeting last night, we've talked about priority-based budgeting. City Administrator Cox gave us a presentation on priority-based budgeting, and we had some discussion on next steps and how we move forward, because it is going to take a while to get the priorities established, get the services ranked and everything. So it's not going to be a slow process. So we've started the conversation, and our next meeting we'll be discussing more on how we want to move forward with that. Ms. Cox, I'm sure she'll report later in the meeting, but our sales tax are up year over year, and our use tax is up year over year. Our next regularly scheduled meeting will be the second Monday of next month here in council chambers. That's all,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Thank you. Committee on Insurance Audits and Claims. Robin?
Yes, Your Honor, insurance audits and claims met this evening here in council chambers. Our first order of business was to consider and discuss changes to the Parks Administrative Assistant job description by adding golf requisitions to their job duties. Apparently they've been doing this some, but they need to have it in their job description. At this time, I would like to make a motion to accept the changes to the Parks Administrative Assistant job description.
Can you clarify?
Yeah.
Did you say golf?
The golf requisitions.
What is that?
The administrative assistant does requisitions, which is invoices, types those up for both the park and the golf, and it was not written clearly in the job description.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
So I have a motion, a second, to approve the amended job description for the Parks Administrative Assistant. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, passes.
Next, Your Honor, we discussed changes to the Parks Administrative Assistant job description wrong one. Discuss salary changes to the Assistant Parks and Rec Director, which I probably have Tracy speak to this, but the change was to move the salary grade from an L to an M. And Tracy, do you want to talk about the purpose
Yes,
for
that's
that?
correct. The way it was placed, the Assistant Parks and Rec Director position was placed on the same grade as the golf supervisor and the park supervisor. And because this position will oversee those two in the absence of the parks director, they do not belong on the same grade, so we move that position up one grade.
So at this time, I would make a motion to change, to amend the job description for the Assistant Parks and Rec Director from a salary grade L to M.
So moved.
I have a motion, a second, to adjust the Assistant Park Director salary to a different level. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
And following the same trend, we also discussed salary changes to the Assistant Public Works Director job description, also moving it from an L to an M, specifically a step 5. Tracy, do you want to explain that one?
Yes, so the Assistant Public Works Director should be on the same grade as the Assistant Parks and Recreation Director. The Assistant Public Works Director, the Street Department Supervisor reports to that position in the absence of the Public Works Director. And it was on the same grade and should not have been.
So at this time, I would make a motion to amend the Assistant Public Work Director's job description from a salary grade L to M.
Second.
I have a motion, a second, to adjust the Assistant Public Work Director salary grade from an L to an M. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
And then also, this evening, under staff reports, it was the fiscal end of year, so the claims were extra large because we had some old and some new items. And as Miranda said, and then in turn, the auditors will be here soon. And also Tracy reported that they are upgrading their accounting system in September, so those changes will be happening soon. And our next meeting is on 7/21 at 6 p.m. here in council chambers.
Okay, thank you. Public safety, David.
We're in between meetings right now.
All right, and your next meeting is?
I'm sorry, I don't have that in front of me.
Next Monday.
Next Monday, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Public service, Beth.
Okay, Public Services Committee hasn't met since we've had our meeting last month for the council, so we've taken care of most of the business. I will defer to Richard to talk about the Red, White, and Boom event when he gives his report. Then the next Public Services Committee meeting will be Tuesday, July 21st at 5:30, and I thought it was going to be in council chambers, but we have a public meeting also for the swimming pool update, if I'm not mistaken. No? Oh, okay, never mind. All right. So we'll meet at 5:30 then here in council chambers.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? All right, Public Works Committee, Juan.
All right. Public Works Committee met on July 7th. The committee reviewed an overhead electrical easement agreement between the city of Carthage and Carthage Water and Electric on the south end of town and the industrial park. The committee unanimously voted to forward or to move on with the easement. This was already our land, so there was no real major concerns there or issues. The committee discussed a request from the developer of the villas at Myers Park to waive permit fees. The developer is seeking state tax credits to help secure funding for additional senior housing. We discussed that the city fee waiver would increase the project's competitiveness for those tax credits. The committee voted to recommend forwarding this to council, as we'll see it later on today, along with a letter of support. However, that recommendation was contingent upon the developer providing the city with additional information, identifying the specific dollar amount of permit fees that would need to be waived in order to receive the maximum number of tax credit points. And I believe he's here to talk about that when we get to that point. We want to help as much as we can, but also want to be responsible with our taxpayers' money and not waive more than we have to. Josiah also shared that there are currently 24 properties within the city that have been declared unfit for occupancy. And the committee discussed making this list more visible to the public in hopes that investors or individuals interested in doing a rehab project for these houses, projects may consider purchasing and restoring these properties. One suggestion was to publish the list on the city's website and through other channels, social media, etc., to encourage redevelopment and improvement in these neighborhoods. The list of properties was included in the committee's packet. So we should start seeing those, at least at committee level, hopefully at some point on our website and maybe other areas. An additional item was added to the Public Works agenda. We received an offer to purchase the city's current road grader. From our understanding, that the road grader that we have is bigger than we would like. It's hard to maneuver throughout our streets. When we originally purchased it, that was the only model they had available. They didn't have smaller options, so we purchased what was available. It was the best deal. However, things have changed since then. The county that is interested in buying our grader is offering $190,000 for the grader that we purchased for $189,000. So we're actually making a little bit money off of what we paid for, and we've used it for a while. This would allow us to get a smaller grader that fits our needs. And we were able to secure a newer grader with fewer hours for $129,000. This would give the city roughly about $161,000 back. Now, it might not be exactly that. Sorry, $61,000, not $161. I got excited there. $61,000 back. Maybe not exactly that, because there's going to be some transportation charges, but roughly putting money back into the city, which is good, and it gives us a grader that we can maneuver around the city a lot better and fits our needs overall a lot better. The committee unanimously agreed to this, to move forward with this. See, I lost my track where I was. So the committee unanimously recommended both selling the current grader and purchasing the new grader. So at this moment, I want to make a motion to approve the sell and purchase of. Do I need to make those as two separate? One the sell and one the purchase, or can it be a whole?
It can be one.
It can be one. So I want to make a motion to approve the sale of our larger grader for $190,000 and approve the purchase of the smaller grader for $129,000.
Second.
I have a motion, a second, to sell our larger grader and purchase, essentially swap it out for a smaller grader for the Public Works Department. And the only thing I would comment, and just correct me if I'm wrong, but the larger grader, quite honestly, wasn't even capable of maneuvering some from the areas we needed to maneuver through. So this will be essentially an upgrading capability. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes.
All right, and that was all we had for our committee.
Okay, thank you. We'll now entertain reports from special committees and board liaisons. David.
The library board met this evening. It was a fairly involved meeting compared to their normal ones. The new parking lot just east of the library is coming along nicely. It's about ready for asphalt. They're believing sometime the 1st of August they'll be able to put the pavement on the new parking lot, and they're going to repave the existing parking lot. They've had an AC issue, which I know a lot of people have. They're having an AC unit replaced in the new building there. It's actually a storage area. They went over bylaws, just corrected a few things and updated some things in their bylaws regarding gifts of stock coming in, trustees and code of ethics. Their gardens won first place for business gardens through the Vision Carthage. And I think that pretty much covers it. The new board members were all there this evening, so it was a full board meeting, and they got a lot accomplished. So,
Okay, thank you. Other reports. Rob.
Yes, Your Honor, Planning and Zoning met July 6, 2026 here in council chambers. On the agenda, we discussed or they discussed, excuse me, a request for a certificate of appropriateness for a facade restoration at 116 through 118 West 4th Street. The applicant was not present, so the request was tabled and forwarded to the next meeting. And they also considered a blight request for the property located at 103 East 3rd Street, which did get approved. And they again discussed the historic district guidelines. They went through the proposed work by project type and adjusted various items between major and minor work. And then moving forward, they will be communicating with the general public about the proposed ordinance changes to the ordinance. And the next meeting will be in council chambers on Monday, August 3rd.
I would encourage that you, particularly you new council members, if you're not familiar with the reworked guidelines that she's referring to, I'd encourage you to reach out and get a copy if you haven't seen them yet, because it's probably worth your while. You'll be asked to vote on them and approve them eventually. So if you're not very familiar with them, I would suggest to you that you contact Josiah or Robin, obviously, and get a copy of what they're working on as a draft. Anything else, Robin? Any other board or, yes, Beth?
I have two. One, I attended the first working meeting of the Harry S. Truman Coordinating Council. And their service area covers Jasper and Newton counties, and we also have a presence on the group that represents Joplin and the other parts of it. Goes early out to Brooklyn Heights and then on over where their jurisdiction is. And they are finalizing the list of the infrastructure projects throughout Jasper and Newton counties. And the list has remained virtually the same. I'm, in terms of my first business meeting with that organization, it's very clear that there's supportive efforts going on between the communities, and their sense of obligation to I think make decisions is a positive. And so our Chapel Road and Chapel Road,
right.
Road, and then Fur Road, that project still remains number 2. How long it takes us to get there, I'm not sure, but Fidelity, the interchange is number 1. So, and of course we all know that that's long overdue. So that's there. They also, Will Klein, the staff person that supports the council, infrastructure work, is also available to do some grant writing and such, and I've already put him in touch with Chief Deininger about some funds that can come through to the police department. I've spoken with Chief Martin as well, and we hope to get them to come together and maybe give us some help. And I'm still mindful about what Ron and Tracy say about we've got to make sure that we don't add more work that we can't support with what we do, but I think that it looked like there's some things that might be helpful. The other report I'd give is that the Vision Carthage's evening soiree, I think, was very well attended. I think we had over 15 artists. We had Scoop had a trailer there for their ice cream, and Christina's Winery, I believe, was the winery for the wine garden. And a lot of brand new artists, which was kind of nice to be able to add some new folks to the mix that really were impressed, I think, with what the setup was and the raffle prizes. And they also did a fund a need, so that this money that they raised for Vision Carthage and that during that evening will support their ongoing projects like Restoration Carthage and their dumpster day. And Carthage Historic Preservation had a really neat setup where they kind of did some duplication of some old historic photos to take photos for people. So it was really, and we still dodged a bullet on the rain, and the ground was not too soggy, and a lot of help from CWP on the lighting and all of that. And then tomorrow morning they have their monthly board meeting, and I will be attending that as well.
Okay, thank you. Other reports? Alan?
So our committee that has been working on reviewing and making some updates to our employee handbook and our hiring policies met again last week, and we should be having something to forward to City Attorney Gold soon, and some changes that we'll be recommending that will come to the council once they get reviewed by Mr. Gold.
Okay,
Thank you.
Jack?
CWNEP board will meet this Thursday, 3 o'clock.
All right, any other reports? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to my report. I trust everyone had a good 4th of July holiday. A lot of things going on for the semi-quincentennial of our country, 250 years. I was able to participate in the Boom Run, which started at 7 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I saw all of your smiling faces out there as well, but it's okay. We did have the Liberty Tree dedication, and of course, then Richard kicked off the Red, White, and Boom, and called in plenty of hot weather, which was probably depressed a little bit in terms of folks attending, because it was pretty steamy out there, but Kittyland was open, everything was going on in the park, so it seemed to be working very well. Fireworks went off great that night, Richard, again. Yeah, they started a little bit earlier, but that's because we were dodging Missouri weather in July. So anybody who's been around here more than a year knows that that's just kind of the way it works. But it was another great event that went through. Interestingly, last Saturday, our local VFW also hosted another celebration in recognition of the country's birthday, and that was also very well done. And those of you that haven't been out there or have never been out there, they are now completed with the remodeling of not only their canteen, but the other side, which is their meeting room. They've redone the entire building. It's really very nicely done. They've added some ancillary outside operations and things that are, well, accessories, if you will. So if you haven't been out there, I recommend you go out there and take a look at it. I think you'd find they've done a nice job. Obviously, I was able to go to the soiree as well. Beth saw you down there, of course, and that was very nicely done again by Vision Carthage. Of course, we had Food Truck Friday last Friday, and that was, again, pretty steamy, but pretty well attended. And then Josiah and I had the opportunity to meet earlier this week with some folks that are looking at our local levy and our requirement to have that thing essentially re-accredited, and it's a multi-year process. We think we're in pretty good shape with that. This is the levy, for those of you who are not familiar with it, on the north side of town, and primarily it does a lot of protection down there for some of those businesses, and not that many residences, but there are a few down in the low ground there. So that's moving forward, and he's all over that. I did have a mayor's meeting, another mayor's meeting I highlighted last time. We had about 50 mayors this time. This is a Zoom meeting. And obviously the number one topic, once again, was the governor's initiative with regard to this income tax elimination that's going to be on the August ballot, rather. There still is great concern because there's a lot that's still unknown. The mayors were not as universally as opposed to it as they were last time. However, there's still a lot of concern. And essentially, as it was described, it was fundamentally, it would replace income tax with a sales tax across the state. They did have they brought in a speaker who was pro this passing to talk to the mayors, because as I mentioned last time, the mayors generally were opposed to it. So, and that's probably some are still opposed. And essentially what this would mean is that all of the sales tax and income tax the sales tax currently in existence would be rolled back roughly 97%, and then the income tax would be rolled back over time, and it would be replaced by a service tax or service sales tax. And when we're talking services, we're talking everything from mowing a lawn to cutting your hair to doing your tax prep. Any service that's provided, would essentially be a taxed event, and that's how they would replace all this income. Not surprisingly, with lobbyists and everything else, there are a lot of exemptions to this particular tax that are being pursued and argued at Jeff City. Obviously, there's been no list yet, but I've heard that there may be up to 200 services out there that want their particular service exempted from the tax. So, and obviously that would come right off the bottom line. So we'll see how that plays out over time. The mayor's major concern still, and it's a little bit of a mixed bag now, the 97% rollback, and that would be, for example, any city emplaced sales tax, we would have to essentially roll back 97% of the collection of those dollars, and it would go away. We could keep 3%. And so some of the mayors are definitely not in favor of it because they've had a hard time and they live and die by the sales tax, and we've got a significant portion of ours which lives and dies by sales tax as well. Some mayors were really happy with it because a lot of their sales taxes are targeted and specifically directed to a fire department or a police department or a public works or something else. And if they roll this back, obviously all of those directed funds would be no longer be directed, and it would go into general revenue, and then the city administrators and the council and the mayor could decide where those funds were going to be spent. So there's probably two sides to the story, and I would say now the mayors are probably 60% against it and 40% for it. Not as adamant as they were last time, but we'll see. Obviously, that's on the August ballot. We're continuing conversations. For those of you that don't know, you council members, in March of 2025, when Alan was serving as mayor, the city essentially passed an ordinance, and we recognize our local Carthage Police Officer Association, which is a sub-chapter of the Federal Fraternal Order of Police. And they have teed up for us to consider a memorandum of agreement that they want us to take a look at for the types of things that they would like to see implemented or adopted throughout the police department with regard to the way the police department was run in some respects, and of course the way things are funding. Now obviously from a funding perspective, we're very sensitive to the fact that, as discussed several times, we've got a little bit of a challenge as it is right up front, but we're working through those right now. So we're meeting with those guys as they come forward. We've got probably another couple of months worth of talking with them before we decide what we think can be supported and what we'd recommend, and it'll come up to you guys eventually before it goes there. Finally, I would say a couple things. Number one, Richard, I know you've been seeing his reports on the pool. Obviously, that's moving forward. And we're optimistic we'll continue to move that forward. Same thing with Josiah and his reports on the code enforcement. That too is moving forward. I know we'd like to see it move forward at light speed, but you know we're moving forward at an appropriate pace, and we will continue to move that ball down the field, or as Hank Strain would say, matriculate the ball down the field. And finally, the Bridge Committee is still up and running. There's a meeting scheduled for a week from Monday, I believe, and they're working through everything from funding options to grants and everything else. So that work is continuing as well. So that completes my report for this evening. So now we'll start with council reports. And Susan, why don't we start with you tonight?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Beth?
Just have a couple of things. I attended the Bel Air Place 22nd Annual Bicycle Parade for kids, and Lauren Rosenthal was again the Grand Marshal of the parade, and the kids really dressed up their bikes again this year, so it was a lot of fun. And then they had the lemonade and tea and such in the median, and was just a good little family gathering. And so some of the kids that are now parents are having their kids in the parade, so it's kind of fun to see that as well. I also attended the Crossline ribbon cutting hosted by the Chamber of Commerce last Friday, and if you get a chance to go out, and I know there was a reception Friday afternoon, but I didn't make it to that. But it's a wonderful space for their new thrift store. They have a new manager. She's very excited about doing that, and all their food pantry efforts, and as well as their respite places for people experiencing homelessness. So it's quite a remarkable thing, and I really want to give my hat off to Tony because she's been here 5 years and she's accomplished a great deal in that amount of time. to rally resources and partnerships. The other thing is the downtown merchants are continuing to meet and are doing their very best to promote Carthage's work or their businesses and serve their customers as they count the days until the courthouse project is complete. So please continue to shop on the square and support our locally owned businesses where you can. And the other thing is that this really comes through Vision Carthage, but the joint efforts with Vision Carthage Boots and the Carthage Chamber to have the maple leaf signs and the tours that we have, that was, there was a spot on, I believe it was KOAN last night, highlighting the tour and what it means to have something special like that in their community. And it was a great effort to see them work together to make that happen in pretty short order, to be honest. So if you have a chance, they have passport booklets that they have where you can go and identify them and I think get a little sticker if you want in there. But it's nice to see those kinds of things that are coming together. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Alan?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Jack?
Well, in case several people haven't heard, Richard, to promote the rodeo, turned a bull loose on the 4th of July morning, and he was running. He came by on the east side of the National Guard. That bull was hauling, and here come the cowboys, a whooping and a whopping. Two of them were chasing that bull, and he went across the road, down the hill, went right across 18 Green, tore everything up, went over the rock wall, jumped the ditch, went into the heavy stuff, and I asked the mayor if he got up to his place, if he wanted to pardon. He goes, no, he didn't get that far. So anyhow, after 30 minutes, they finally corralled him down at the Ruby Jack parking lot and loaded him up. And that poor bull, whoever drew him, when he come out of the gate, he was just gonna be kind of hopping a little bit, you know. So that's all.
Anything else, Jack?
No.
David?
Nothing right now, thank you.
Mariella?
Nothing right now.
Ray?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Robin?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Juan?
I want to see Jack do that cowboy move again. That was pretty good.
Blazing saddle and whooping and
Just a few thoughts. I got to attend Vision Carthage's soiree as well. They put a really nice event. So thank you to those individuals that made that happen. Food Truck Friday seemed successful again. I did attend the Red, White, and Boom celebration. My kids obviously love Kittyland, so I had to go to Kittyland. I think I spent most of my time there. We did do the bouncy houses and other stuff, but Kittyland is definitely the jewel of the event, I think, at least in my kids' eyes. It well attended as well. It was definitely hot. Yeah, that's all I gotta share.
Just one correction, Jack, just so you know. The bull went into our yard, didn't do anything, but the cowboys came and left some horse manure in the driveway. And I didn't see Richard or Josiah or anybody there helping me when I was shoveling.
I didn't see Richard anywhere.
All right. Okay, and we'll now move on to administrative reports. Let's start with Chief Deininger.
We are Marion Day is awaited right now. We're just a couple of weeks away for that. Procedurally, not a whole lot will change. However, the complaints have already came in about parking and stuff, and we're on those to try to correct some stuff that we might be able to correct from previous years. But other than that, we're just clicking along.
Okay, thank you. Jason?
A lot of stuff going on right now. The fire department, with the new budget, we have a line item for some improvements to our building. So we're going to be painting, putting in some new flooring. We got the beds ordered last time we were here, and they're still in the shipping process. And we're swapping out ceiling tile for all the damaged ceiling tile. We're replacing all of it. We'll be painting the grid work and cleaning it up. Guys are excited about doing that work themselves, and it's progressing along. Friday, we received the shipment of our new Auto Pulse machines, thanks to the McKean Brooks Trust. We have training for those item, or those new auto pulses on the 29th, 30th, and the 5th of August. We can't put them in service until we're trained on how to use them properly. The newer models have some different features. We're also still working to provide data for the district fire board contribution assessment with the mayor and Tracy spearheading that operation. We're working on the emergency action plan for Marion Days. We usually compile a little book with all the contact information, the event information in there, and that's moving along. Got a phone call about 2 weeks ago from the local ISO representative, which is the insurance rating company. We provided them with training records and fire reports for analysis from the last 12 months, and potentially we could go back to a ISO 3 rating from the 4 that we currently sit at. It's a process, and hopefully we can get the points for our service that we need to get back to a 3, which residences and businesses would see an immediate impact drop in their insurance rates. Primarily the businesses, the bigger businesses, Shriver's, Leggett Platt, H.E. Williams, Butterball would see the most dramatic drops in price in their insurance. But they've changed some of the grading criteria, so we're trying to figure out how to get back to a 3. And that's all I've got for tonight.
Okay, thank you. Josiah.
Yeah, just the mayor did a good job covering some of the meeting we attended yesterday with the levy district. Like he said, it seems to be moving in the right direction, which is encouraging. Also, on the same note, they had some SEMA representatives there, and a representative with WSP, which is a contractor that is creating a new floodplain map. It's a new data that they're plugging into the recognized floodplain maps throughout the nation. And the state of Missouri is going through Jasper County specifically, is getting some new attention there. So we had a meeting last year, was the first meeting I was involved in. Today, this morning, we had another follow-up meeting based on kind of results of what they compiled from input from the different areas within Jasper County. And today we discussed some of those, and we'll be for the next 45 days or so plugging in more information and feedback to them so they can adjust this map accordingly and see some of this. It's basically a finer detailed on how they do it. They utilize the LiDAR system to be able to pinpoint every grid, so to speak, like the whole entire county is just in a bunch of little grids, and every one of them shot to see the different flows and everything. So it really gives you a more detailed outlay of where these flood zones are within our streams and stuff and the surrounding areas. So it's good information. Can be a little bit boring if you're not into that stuff, but it was a good meeting to attend, and I will probably be going back this fall for the first discussion of the first preliminary map that we'll be looking at. And this map will potentially go into effect sometime late next year before it is actually implemented and considered and recognized. So just some note, as soon as we compile that the first round of preliminary mapping or whatever, we will begin to kind of get some information out there and start showing people that this could be possibly impacting them in any way, shape, or form. So we'll get that information out there. Also, update on the code enforcement efforts. Guys are continuing to work through those areas. Some of that work goes through faster than others, and then whenever you have a guy that's on the slower side that just needs to take some vacation, he's a week off this week. So anyway, he's down in Florida at the beach, which I would probably rather be there. But anyway, so we'll have some more report more information to plug into those reports once he returns and gets back on his feet in the swing of things. So, also, did want to make mention that the MoDOT has sent out for the new corridor study to get some feedback, and there's another meeting coming July 21st at CWP Community Room. It will begin at 5:30 to 7 o'clock. Looking for public input on some of that, talking about the bypass over here coming off the west side of town. So
make sure we're tracking on that. What that is several of the council members, Tracy and I met with one of the stakeholder meetings here, I don't know, a month or so ago. And there was an initiative to essentially take 249, which 171, which runs from where it comes up out of Arkansas and then turns onto 44, heading east before it gets to Fidelity to come north. They're talking about taking that and perhaps changing that and having the interstate run north out of there directly, and then probably do some construction in or around Civil War Road, in or around our wastewater facility and water treatment facility to wastewater facility going forward, to tie that into I-49 north of Carthage, Kendricktown, or north of Kendricktown. The Carthage contingent, and anyone disagrees with me, certainly chime up, felt that's probably not a good idea. We don't like the idea that it would be a complete bypass, if you will, of Carthage for our merchants and everything else. Plus, we don't feel that it would make a lot of economic sense after we're putting a lot of money into the upgrading of Fidelity. Why MoDOT would want to spend any other money getting rid of that, or after they've just improved that area. And obviously the biggest impact on us is they would have to do something about the current intersection. Obviously on interstates you don't stop, so as you come into town from past VFW, past some of the county road construction barns in the area, and you come in on Central, right there near Arby's, they'd have to get rid of that light and somehow bypass that entire area with a high-speed bypass, which again, the consensus is we don't think that would be a good thing for Carthage. And MoDOT is running around talking to all different people to see what they think about it, that sort of thing. So this stakeholder meeting will be open to the public. As Josiah just mentioned, it's on the 21st. It'll be in the CWP Community Room. And if you've got strong feelings or you want to learn more about it, then I encourage you to attend that meeting as well. And we'll probably have some city representation there again as well. But we've already had a separate city officials meeting with MoDOT. So anybody want to add anything? Beth?
Yes, Your Honor, I thank you. There is no money for this at this point in time. So this is not really sure why there's this exploratory what if on something that's going to move things from maybe 5 miles north, except cut us out. I think we need to stay on top of it and get some feedback, hopefully from the public about that, and they're also doing the improvements to Central, and that hasn't even started yet, so it's like that kind of defeats some of that purpose as well. So, but it was good to get the feedback that we had, I think, to the group, so.
Okay, great. Josiah, anything else?
no, thank you for your comments. I think that's all I have.
All right, Richard, you're up.
Thank you, sir. If you didn't get enough of my park out there over the 4th of July, please come out this weekend. We've got the Jasper County Youth Fair. Actually, it's going on right now. A bunch of trailers out there, and that's always a good time. As far as the baseball and organized sports is concerned, it's slowed down. This is, as Josiah just mentioned, time for a lot of vacations, and so there's not a whole lot of sports going on out at Fair Acres, but I highly encourage you to go to the Jasper County Youth Fair. The heat, everybody has mentioned already, and that has slowed the grass growing down a little bit, which is good, and it's also kept some people away from the parks, which normally would go to the parks, which is bad, but it's also slowed down our trash pickup, which is good. So always look at good and bad, and so focus on the good instead of the bad. As you guys voted on earlier and approved, which I appreciate very much, the changes to the admin assistant and the assistant director position. We've been working to fill those positions. Hopefully, I don't want to even try to exit, but hopefully, our next city council meeting, I will introduce a newest member of our team. But we'll just wait, because I don't want to put the hex on it. And everybody's already talked about the 4th of July, so I don't have too much to expand on, except for, and I hate doing this because I know I'm going to forget somebody, but the police were out there helping me. The fire was out there helping me. Public Works made that drainage ditch look great before the tournament and the 4th of July fireworks. City Hall, all the staff at City Hall, including the IT guy over there, he was there. And so it was a team effort. It wasn't just the Parks and Recreation division. It was truly a city event. And I can't express my gratitude. Mayor, you're included in that, obviously, for your emceeing of various of events. And so that will be officially the last you hear me talking about the 4th of July for the next 8 months. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Tracy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Our sales tax revenue for the month of July came in at $264,638.72, and that was 2.49% from the same month last year, or $6,416. Our use tax came in at $118,345.10, and that was actually up 28.72% from the same month last year, or $26,405. I would also like to thank all of the staff that made the 4th of July event very successful. I apologize to those who were a little late watching the fireworks. We had to start that a little early just to make sure and get that in before the rain happened. And some of our employees spent the entire day out there in that heat, and so I appreciate all that they had to do. And that's all I have.
All right, John?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
All right, we'll move on then to report claims presented against the city. Miranda?
The Committee on Claims filed a report in the amount of $3,030,788.13.
I move that we accept the claims.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the claims report. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, we have no public hearings this evening, so we'll move on to old business. First council bill.
The second reading of Council Bill 2643, an ordinance amending section 10-2 open burning of the Carthage City Code.
Any discussion? Cast your votes. Council bill is adopted. All right, that completes old business. Move on to new business. Miranda?
Consider and discuss a letter of support for the villas at Myers Park 2. I think they sent me a presentation, so I think they may want to come up and speak on it.
All right, please state your name and let the council know what you're representing.
Miranda, do you have that slide up there? Yeah.
Some of you may have seen him before. He's done other projects in the city.
Sure. While she's doing that, thank you very much for your positive comments coming out of Public Works. I'm Kim Lingle with NBL Development. We have built villas at Myers Park. If you recall the old runway, I took up half the runway, if you recall, when I built that. We also built Carthage Senior Villas out on Fur. Fast track, 92 people on a wait list right now between those two properties. I think it's been more than successful for us. We now have an option to purchase some land directly behind Lowe's. I'll mention the name, people might know it's Eli Burton's property. and we're setting up, but we've set a site up there now, it's about 36 units right there with a community building, just literally like Myers Park 1 is. We're gonna have a community building with 36 units, slab on grade type product for seniors, okay? And what's important to note is what happens in this process is the economic development of all of this. Not only have we'll end up spending, after the second, about $22 million, but of the 36 units that are gonna be built, about half of those folks are gonna sell a house. It's gonna be usually a first-time home buyer type house. So you're gonna see some economic, the same thing happened on the other two properties. I can show you the demographics of that. So it's really kind of a win-win for everybody. We're building some more housing, yet you're getting some more housing, all in kind of one great big little swoop there like that. The issue that we have today, or not the issue, one of the comments that we talked about, and he talked about a grading system. The state of Missouri has changed how they fund projects similar to this, okay? It's a point system, okay? Just like you said, a grading system. It's like if Tracy and Miranda filed for grant applications, that it's based on points, et cetera. And that's exactly what the state of Missouri has done. Tonight, we're asking you to waive, I believe approximately, do I have this right, 15,000?
Yeah.
About approximately $15,000 in fees for about an $8 million project. Now, what does that mean? I know it sounds silly, 3 points, okay? Well, 3 points is the difference last year of winning and losing. Last year, 132 points was the winner. It went down to 129, okay? Anything, so let's just say last year we had 132, we'd be down to 129. 129 would make the cutoff. So that's how valuable it is. You would think, I've been doing this 34 years, right? You would think they'd worry about me, right? They don't. It's about Jasper County and the need for housing, which we have a tremendous need of housing. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at market studies. They're looking at location. We think we have a very good location out there. That's how the points are allocated, along with the fee waivers. They want the cities, what they've done is they want the cities to have a vested interest. You know, they want to see where Rolla or Butler or whatever is involved with it just as much as the state of Missouri, okay? Like you mentioned, we get tax credits for this project. So that's, everyone in here is kind of vested anyway in a small portion like that. So we're asking you for 2 things, a resolution of support for our housing and a fee waiver up to the 15,000, I think.
It's 15,825.
Thank you, Teresa, I didn't have that memorized. We're asking you for that tonight. And I would love to answer any questions.
So
I went through this fast, by the way, I'm sorry, but they kind of put me on time on that.
The fees that will be waived will be the building permit fee of $11,800, the electrical permit fee of $2,540, and the plumbing permit fee of $1,485. These are estimated totals. It, may change based on when the project specs come in, but we did not waive all fees, but we did waive all of the permit fees.
If you could just give them some flavor for the standard size of the apartment,
Absolutely, thank you, Mayor. The units, like you see, are 908 square feet. They're 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. I kind of pride myself when I say this, people don't appreciate it, but we put in 9-foot ceilings. Most apartments are all 8-foot ceilings. A lot of homes are 8-foot ceilings, but we have 9-foot ceilings. We have carports, all concrete, patios, front and back patios. If you've driven out into those areas, you'll see almost everybody sits out on the patio in the evening. I see a nod there. I just drove through it a minute ago. And honestly, I was very proud of the grass is green, it looks good. I go, what did I do right here? I mean, it just looks really nice out there. It's been there, that first one's been there 8 years, and the second one's been about 3 years. So we have a full-time manager. She does an outstanding job. Maybe people here know her, Mary Haggard. We've got a full-time maintenance person that's on staff for both locations. And we think we do a very, very good job. That's the reason why we have a wait list.
Any questions for Tim? Jack?
No, Alan was first.
So the waiver of the 15,800 is about 50%, if I looked at the information in our packet correctly.
Slightly less.
Slightly less than 50% of what our normal fees would be.
Like 40.
That was just
Yes,
a question.
that is correct.
Okay.
The units, how many will be housing, these like patio homes?
There'll be duplexes and fourplexes.
Oh, okay, but you're gonna
Slab
sell,
on grade.
but there's, someone's gonna purchase.
No.
No,
These are,
I
these
thought
are
that's
all,
what you said.
these are all rentals, sir.
Okay, all right.
Independent living. Independent, we're not assisted care, we're not nursing care, independent living.
Same business model is being utilized right now at Myers Park,
Absolutely.
the other, and the one out near Fur Road.
Absolutely.
Well, when this was presented to the committee, it was almost 35,000. So in your estimate, 15 is gonna get you over the hump.
Yes, sir.
You believe that?
I believe it will be.
Okay.
Now, can I fudge a little bit when I answer that?
Well, absolutely.
She said 15.8. If I come back to you and say it's 15.9 for $100
No,
more, you know what I'm saying? Because it's based on the mathematical application and the numbers, okay, as far as my application. It's based on construction costs. is what we know.
How do you know? Well, I assume there's a formula, so.
I'll know tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Exactly.
If we're
Yes,
involved.
sir. I'm pretty sure Tracy's pretty accurate, so, you know, I feel very confident so far, but don't hold me to that exact penny.
No,
When will the Mo Housing make the decision on whether your application is accepted or not?
We'll know, the application's due August 7th in the state of Missouri, and we'll know in late November? Late November.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you mention this will have, this phase of your development will have carports, you said? Because
Yes.
the others, yeah, because I think that would be
Yes.
a real added
Village,
bonus.
Village One over by the airport, I call it the old airport, so it just has carports. if you
Okay,
drive
are
through.
they in the back or something? Because I don't see
there
it. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I didn't go far back,
Yeah.
but they're nice. I hear a lot of good things about them.
Thank you, appreciate that.
I was the guy that had the most questions in the committee. So, is it a reduction in interest rate that this is eventually will benefit you from the state? By how much? How many points? What are you talking about?
Well, let's get right, what he said here, when I said it, we get tax credits, okay? So we get those tax credits from the state of Missouri, we sell those tax credits to investors. I don't make any money on that. I get the money from the tax credits to lower the mortgage so that it becomes affordable. Because now we're down at $800 to $900 a month instead of, if I built something brand new like this, it'd be $2,000 a month. But with the tax credits, I'm lowering the mortgage. So Mrs. Jones can afford, who's on fixed income, can afford to live there.
But the mortgage itself would not change. It would be reduced or not reduced. This is the confusing thing.
It's reduced.
It is reduced.
It's reduced by the tax credits.
By
the amount of money paid for the tax credits. Investors, for example, banks will buy tax credits. They'll give us give us that money, and then we reduce the mortgage down to make it affordable. Did I explain that okay?
Yeah, it's kind of like pollution credits, it's sort of the same thing.
Yeah, you're basically energy credits.
But you don't receive any money, you just get the credits.
I just received it. That's what I'm filling out the application to receive the credits from the state of Missouri.
Okay, and then you will sell those, and that then you don't receive that money, but it just lowers the interest rate. No,
Lower the
mortgage.
Lower the mortgage.
By how much?
Probably it was gonna be $8 million, probably about $5 million.
Really? Lower it that much? 2.5 or a?
Yeah, because if you did an amortization, let's say I didn't have any, it was just a straight market rate deal. Take your loan at $8 million at 7%, or $3 million at 7%, see where you are.
That's a big change.
No one in town could afford to live there.
No, I see, that's the thing I didn't quite understand, and you've explained it, that you're gonna go from 8 to 3 if you get approved.
Correct.
That's a hell of but that's a very large drop.
Well, absolutely, and that's why it becomes affordable.
Wow.
You could not build this housing in any rural community without the tax
No,
credits.
absolutely, okay.
You couldn't do it.
And that's why, in essence, the tax credit is so competitive.
Exactly. You can see this list right here. I can name off all the towns from last year that didn't get them. I mean, it goes all the way from Knob-Noster, Camden, Warrington, Kirksville, Monette. None of those folks got it. So you can see it's a competition. You're competing against another town. really what it boils down to. I mean, that's, you're not competing for me, you're competing against another town.
Who makes the market for the credit?
Syndicators, brokers, you know.
Feel like regular banks?
Yeah, you ever heard of Raymond James out of Florida? They're one of the bigger syndicators, so they'll buy my credits and sell them.
And then sell them.
And then sell them.
It's like a bond market.
Exactly, Jack, exactly.
Any other questions for Tim?
I just want to clarify, Tracy, so at our committee meeting, part of what I think the question was what was the least amount that the city could give you in those, whatever,
To be able to get the
because
3 points.
initially it was like 30-something, and we were like, does he really have to have all of that in order to get your 3 points?
Correct.
And so since then, you've visited that
Correct.
and gotten it down to the
Correct.
15 acres.
Yes,
Okay.
he will still be paying the plan review fees, the stormwater impact fee, and the land use site development.
Okay.
Any other questions for Tim? Alan?
I just have one more comment. The council has periodically participated in these programs in the past. I believe you may have come with Myers Park 1, the Highland Meadows and the Highland Acres have come in the past and asked the city for letters of recommendation to the state for these types of things. So this isn't anything new that we're looking at. I believe this may be the first time when we are abating some of our fees. So I know that things in the state change, and so I think that, to be able to participate, I think, and get the housing is worth it for us as a city, just my opinion.
Jack?
Thank you.
Tracy, so we're still out to 6,000 if the project goes through. So it would be
No.
15 plus the 6 for the plating?
No, we will pay that.
That's what I'm saying.
He will be reimbursing for that.
Oh, I see, okay.
And if I could, I have one last comment here. I have a little bit of experience with this through my employment, and so I just wanted to tell people, it is very competitive, and the thing that I would like the council to know is that if we do not approve it, another city will. So he could, for instance, go to Webb City and put this housing there or somewhere else, because it is very competitive. So I just encourage the council to keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Well, I thank you for the explanation,
Thank you.
because frankly, I was in the dark.
I understand.
Totally.
By the way, I putted on sand greens, and they're better than the green on 18 that you just described.
Where
Windsor, Missouri.
I used to play at Albany.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right, thanks, Tim. Any other discussion from council? All right. I guess what we need at this point is council vote on whether or not to authorize a resolution of support.
Absolutely.
We need a
Do we need a
motion.
motion?
So,
Are you making it or
We need a
not?
motion to authorize the mayor to sign a letter of support.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the mayor to sign a letter of support for the villas at Myers Park 2.
second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to issue a letter of support to facilitate this construction of the villas at Myers Park. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is adopted. Okay. We have no mayor's appointments for tonight, so we'll now move on to actual resolutions. Miranda?
Resolution 2125, a resolution authorizing a supplemental budget adjustment to the general revenue fund for the fire department capital outlay and grant revenue line item, the golf fund for capital outlay and lease proceeds line item, capital improvement tax for transfer to others line item, and to the South Economic Development Park Fund for transfers from others line item for fiscal year 2025-2026.
Alan?
I make a motion, we adopt resolution 2125.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt resolution 2125. Any discussion? Alan?
So this resolution, as I mentioned earlier in our budget meeting last night, we discussed it. This is some of the year-end cleanup. The fire department adjustment is for the grant that we received from McCune Brooks Trust, transferring that into the general fund for the money that we had spent out of the general fund to buy those. for the golf course. It's for the new pump in the irrigation well house for the irrigation on the golf course. We purchased the pump and on a lease purchase, but we had paid money out, so that's to clean that up. And then the South Economic Development Park is for a survey of that park. And so it wasn't, those are all to clean up the year end of last year's budget into this year. So that's.
All right, any other discussion? Cast your vote. Resolution is adopted. All right, we'll now move on to closing comments. The only comment I have for this evening is, I think everyone's aware, it's still toasty out there. So make sure that you and yours are taking caution with the heat that we're dealing with. And after that, we'll move on to Mariella, you first. Closing comments.
None.
Nothing? All right. David?
Nothing, thank you.
Jack?
I didn't say much for the CWP. I did have a conversation face-to-face with Kathy Joe 3 weeks ago. She said she was supporting Amendment 5. I play golf with a Brit, and you cannot believe all the taxes that are charged, from walking down the sidewalk to whatever. I mean, there's tax, everything is taxed, and that's what this to me sounds like it's gonna be. Where are they gonna find the money? You know, Milton Friedman, famed economist, said there's no such thing as a free lunch. And if somebody says, well, we're gonna tax services, I mean, it just makes no sense. But anyhow, on the other issue with Kathy Joe, she put out wanting to help make sure that electricity was affordable. So I fired off quite a long diatribe, and she answered saying, well, she wasn't against utilities, rates, et cetera, et cetera. It's kind of like a waffling type thing. But anyhow, then I invited her to the board meeting, and she said she may attend, and I hope she does. So.
Yeah, thank you. Alan?
So I am surprised and shocked. Jack let off a long diatribe. I can't believe it. What I'm hearing here. No, as Richard mentioned earlier, Jasper County Youth Fair going on this week. As someone who grew up participating in both 4-H and FFA, it's a big deal for those kids to get out there, bring their animals, bring their projects to the fair, be judged not only on their own project, but judged against the other kids participating in those projects. So I encourage everyone to go out, stop and ask the kids. I mean, that's one thing that really encourages them to do even more next year, is to find out how much work they put in to do those things. You know, growing up on a farm, my kids never understood how I got up every day, got fully dressed, went out and did chores, came back in the house, got fully dressed, ready for school, and got on the school bus before 7:30. So those kids put in a lot of work. This fair is the recognition of that hard work. So I encourage everybody to go out to the fair, look at the schedule. Melissa sent the schedule out to us today. They have a watermelon feed one night. They have a barbecue one night. They have all different kinds of things going on. So I encourage everybody to go out and see the fair. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Beth?
The only thing I would say is I forgot to thank all of the Carthage in Bloom winners, and we had quite a really nice showing of people, and it was new winners, many of them this year. And do try to get on the website, see who won, what the addresses are, and enjoy the fruits of their efforts. It's a labor of love. So thank you to all of them.
Yeah, thank you. Susan?
Nothing tonight.
Juan?
Just want to thank all our city staff for everything that you guys do. I know we say it a lot, and I'm going to say it again because I believe this. We have a very special city. All the work you guys do to make our city as great as it is, thank you. A lot of kudos to Josiah for all the hard work he's done for with cost recovery and getting us some money back. I know finances are a touchy subject right now for the city, so thank you for all the work you've done to help ease all that. Thank you guys.
Robin?
Yes, well, I was out of town for Red, White, and Boom, but I want to thank all of the city staff, and I was outside that weekend. I know it was incredibly hot, and so I appreciate all of your efforts and being outside and when it's kind of miserable. I mean, it's enjoyable, but miserable when you're just stuck there, so I appreciate all of your efforts.
Okay. Right.
It's with deep, heartfelt regret that I, at this time, am announcing my resignation from the city council effective August the 1st. I am moving within town and I will no longer be in Ward 2. So I have no choice, but it has been one of my greatest pleasures and honors of my life to have served this council not once but twice. And I really honestly can say at this point that I believe we have the best assemblage of people to run this city that I have ever had the opportunity to work with. Administration is great. The department heads are outstanding, and my colleagues, you guys, everybody's work and everything that you do shows that you really care for this city, and I do too. But effective August the 1st, I will not be here.
All right.
And that being said, at this time, I would like to make a motion that we go into executive closed session according to section 610.021, parentheses 1, the agenda includes possibility of a vote to close part of the meeting to discuss legal action, causes of action, or litigation involving a public governmental body or its representatives and its attorneys.
Second.
I have a motion, a second, to move into closed session to discuss legal matters. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
You cast your vote. You get
Yeah.
cast your vote.
Oh, okay, yes, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
Whoops. You will have to cast your vote.
But you already shut it down. Change.
I was about to do the same, so I can't say.
Jack, are you a yay or nay?
He's got it.
Okay. Susie?
Yes.
The technophobe.
Juan?
Nothing's popping up on
Oh.
mine.
Are you a yes?
Oh, yes.
Okay. We're
Okay, we are adjourned into closed session. It is 1942. Well, we'll convene upstairs at 1947. 5 minutes, Alan. Call this meeting of the city council back into order. Roll call, Miranda?
Juan,
Present.
Robin,
Here.
Ray,
Right.
Mariella,
Here.
Dave,
Here.
Jack,
Here.
Alan,
Here.
Beth,
Here.
Susan.
Here.
And before we leave, just one comment, and Alan Brock does it. It is, we think it's a possibility that Ray could serve out the remainder of his term if the council decides to do so. So he announced a resignation tonight. We'll take a look and see what the options are and then come back to you and obviously figure out what he might want to do as well. So his term is due to expire.
No choice.
No choice.
Out of here tonight, but.
Don't drag me back in there. Don't throw me in the briar.
Just when I thought I was out.
Run for the door, Ray.
I would entertain a motion to
Make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Yes.